Aquarius, hello my darlings, how are you? Welcome to your reading for the week of the 25th of July 2022, or whenever you find me. Either way, welcome, glad you're here, and I do hope you're well. I'm going to be getting a card first of all from the Chakra Insight Oracle deck. So let's see what we have for you. Thank you, guys. The card from this deck that you have is the Mind. Openness, flexibility, imagination, and learning. Okay, so definitely with that doorway into the third eye, possibly some intuitive messages coming through for you this week, my beautiful Aquarius. And Libra had a very similar theme as well. 3 of their 5 central cards were really tapping into that third eye. Okay. And who had this? Gemini, I think, possibly had the Akura card as well. So Akura, blossoming, you are just getting started. So have patience with yourself and the process and do not give up. So I'm not sure if you can see a theme here already with the 2 cards. They are both into that indigo colouring. They're both an opening up energy. Okay, here we are opening up the third eye. There is a window to that intuitive wisdom. Here we've got an opening up, like an opening up of a flower. So there is this opening up, inviting intuitive messages potentially to come in this week for you. So if you do have any Libra aspects to your chart, I would, it's a little bit early to say, but I would absolutely suggest that maybe you might want to have a look at that. We will just see a band, but please stay here for now to bear it in mind. And I hopefully will remember to come back to it towards the end as well if there are other things that do come up. From the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, you have the Moon card as well. So it could be that whatever you are doing at the moment to step into this opening up, maybe highlighting maybe some shadows for you. Might be, I don't know, I feel like you've actually already been there. I feel like you've already looked at what is hidden in the darkness. So, and I feel like you've already been there, and that's how you've got to this position where you are ready to step into that next level of direction, that next, I don't know, I want to say ascension, but I'm reluctant to use that word because it can just be so cheesy in some of the spiritual circles, this idea of ascension. So I don't want to use the word, but that's the word that's coming through. So I feel like, you have done the work. You've done that. And again, I don't like using the word shadow work either, but I feel like you have looked at some of that shadow aspect. I won't say shadow work. You've looked at some of that shadow aspect, allowing you to open up and step into allowing those messages and guidance to come from that higher place. Okay. Now, I don't read reversals because I read the messages as they come through intuitively, but I will keep that in mind that the Hierophant did come out in reverse. So the Hierophant is the energy that's coming through for you as the energy that we're bringing into the week. Now, there's still some more things that are dropping in, but I'm going to hold off until I get a couple more cards out. So the bulk of the reading here, I'm using the Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. And as always, I have called in my guardians, guides, angels, and ancestors who love me unconditionally. Thank you, guides. And you're of the highest vibration. Now, I do invite you to do the same, but you do not need to, as my intention was that you will be connected in and you will be divinely protected at that time. So the next card out you have is the Knight of Cups, and this is in the position I'm just going to say it's in the position of obstacles and blocks, but pretty much every reading I've done, certainly this time around and many in the last couple of weeks, that's actually been a very positive card sitting in that position. So I think what the cards are telling me is that I need to lose that positioning in terms of the layout. So I'm just going to say the next card out we've got is the King of Cups. After that, we did have the Moon, okay? So we now have the Moon twice in your reading. So this idea of illuminating the darkness, illuminating those shadows is probably a fairly big theme for you this week with the Moon card out twice. You do have the Ten of Wands, and this came out in the position of your health. And this is in terms of health, in terms of body, mind, and spirit, or body, mind, and soul. The next card out we're looking for is a card which, as I said, you know, these are loose positionings, but it does come out in the position of your relationships. And we have the Ace of Wands there. Okay, I'm going to put these three side by side, just so this one doesn't fall on my lap. The next card out we're looking for is a card for your career and finances. That is the Nine of Wands. Okay. And then the final card I'm looking for is the card that is going to take us out of the week, and it's going to illustrate potential possibilities moving into the future. So, and that future could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year. We take it as the messages come through. And in that position, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Aquarius. So there are a few things coming up in addition to those earlier messages. What I do want to say now, when this Hierophant card came out, there was this idea of, all right, this is a complete confession here, but I spent the last 2 days watching a Netflix show, and I don't know if it's on Netflix around the world, but in Australia, it's on Netflix. And it's called Byron Bays, and it's set in Byron Bay in Australia. And it was so bad, but I couldn't stop watching it. But the takeaway from that, and I sort of beat myself up because I spent, you know, all this time watching this really bad reality or documentary reality show. Anyway, the point was that, you know, Byron's a very special place, Byron Bay. It's a very special place. It's full of very spiritual people. But this show, wow, okay, so it purported to represent these influencers and spiritual leaders that base themselves in Byron Bay. Now, I consider myself spiritual, and I was watching these people and I thought, there is no way in the world that they're spiritual. Now, and if you want to watch it, you will understand why, but it was like any drama TV show, you know. There was bitching, there was a lot of fakeness, there was just a lot of game playing. Now, what I came away thinking was, I was thinking about the Hierophant card, and I was thinking about the traditional Hierophant card, less so about this one. But the question kind of came up to me that this idea, I'll start again. The question that came up was, who is on your pedestal, okay? And are they worthy of being there? So if you want to put, in inverted commas, spiritual people on your pedestal and look up to them and go, oh, you're my guru, you're my leader, there's just so much that's wrong with that. And I really struggle with this idea of influencers, because I think for me, I just feel like there's so many people doing it for the wrong reasons. For some reason, this is a message that's come through for you with this Hierophant card coming into this week. It's asking you, who is on your pedestal? Are you, for want of a better word, worshipping the right people? Are they worthy of your esteem, or are you the best guide for yourself? You've obviously done and doing the work, okay? You've got 2 moon cards here. You're no stranger to learning about yourself and knowing yourself. You've demonstrated that, and you've also, this isn't going to be a new thing either for you, this opening up of your third eye, this tapping into that intuitive wisdom. This Hierophant, you're the best spiritual guide and spiritual teacher for yourself. And that's not to say that there aren't some good spiritual teachers out there, but just the message coming through, and I had a feeling it was going to come through for at least one of the readings this week, was because that whole conversation was happening in my head. I thought this is going to be relevant to someone. At this stage, it seems like it's you, Aquarius. It may well be, then it may come up again, but it may have been just for you. But it was such a clear message of asking who's on your pedestal, get them down. You are the best person to guide yourself. Aquarius, I'm sorry, I feel like I've rambled a lot, but I think that's one of the key messages for you this week. Now, ordinarily, well, nothing's ordinary about my readings. Sometimes I jump all over the place, but the idea is I like to sort of go across here down to the health, and then we close out here with the energy taking you out of the week. But I just want to go straight across to the energy out of the week for you guys. We'll come back to these other cards. So the energy we're leaving the week with is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is, oh God, I've got that terrible show coming back. Okay. So this is telling me that your fortunes are changing, no, your fortunes have changed. And they're going to continue to change. You're going to continue to see the results of the hard work that you have done. And I said that horrible show was coming back because with this particular Wheel of Fortune, with the Wheel of Fortune, you often see people on the outside of the wheel, okay, and they're being, they're moving with the wheel as it turns. This particular wheel shows this creature centered in the middle of the wheel, and the wheel is turning around her. So that terrible show had so much chaos, but for some of us, if we can stay centered, and by all means stay centered by being your own best spiritual guide, tapping into your higher wisdoms and your higher knowledge, tapping into the darkness even, and don't get involved in the chaos that's happening around you. Okay, you just do you, boo, and don't allow that other stuff to come in and complicate and confuse things. You stay on your path. Yeah, okay. I said that you stay on your path. I was told then to talk about the Ace of Wands with this new path. This new path, this Ace of Wands, is in the position of relationships. Now, I don't want to put too fine a point on that in terms of a new beginning, in terms of relationships. But for some of my Aquarians, it could very well be a new romantic relationship. We do have this Knight of Cups that's coming in, offering maybe a cup of love, a cup of romance. By all means, if it comes in, it does feel good. It feels extremely passionate as well. So for some of my Aquarians, that's where that Knight of Cups and this Ace of Wands can work together. But it could also just be a new, passionate, exciting beginning for you in terms of other relationships in your life. So whether that could even be a relationship with yourself. It could be a relationship with new friends, with new colleagues, with new, even in a new community, something like that. So there's this new beginning in terms of relationships around you, okay? The Ten of Wands is in the position of your health. This is body, mind, and soul, or body, mind, and spirit, mental, emotional health, as well as physical health. Now, by all accounts, this card suggests that it has been a hard slog for you, all right? It's been a tough journey up that sandy hill. We all know how hard it can be walking up a sand dune, but you're carrying a whole basket full of wands, 10 of them, in fact, and you are kind of knackered. You are ready to put down that bundle of wands. And, the good thing about the 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords is that they're uncomfortable, they're heavy, they're difficult, but once you put them down, that's it. You don't have to pick them back up again. You can rest, you can regroup, and you can start afresh. And look, I always love a 10 of Wands, and we always see it, not always, but we often see it in tarot readings. We have a 10, the 10 of Wands or 10 of Swords, followed by an ace. So it's this confirmation to us as to readers and for people that we're reading is that with difficult endings come new beginnings, okay? It's time and time again we see that in readings. And for yourself, it's no different. But I do feel this 10 of Wands could well be in terms of your health. So be that physical, emotional, or mentally. So do take it how it resonates, but it's been a hard slog for you and you're ready to put that burden down and rest, and you're ready after a rest. Okay, don't go straight into this ace. Have a rest, have a little break, because you're going to need this energy once this opportunity comes along. Okay. The only other card I really want to step into and talk about in a bit more detail is this 9 of Wands. I do feel like this 10 of Wands, this heavy burden that you are about to put down, it could well be related to career and finances, or something that's going on in terms of your career. Now, career doesn't, if you're retired or do voluntary work, or you're a home mum or a home dad, whatever it is you do, it doesn't have to be a career or finances in terms of paid work, okay? So it's whatever you sort of do as a vocation, I guess. And as I said, it does include voluntary work. It includes going and playing golf all day if that's what you do. So whatever it is that you relate to in terms of, I guess your day in, day out, whatever that is for you, there is this 9 of Wands energy. Okay, so there is this, the 9 of Wands is kind of the energy of a bit of a wounded warrior. Okay, they've been fighting hard, and they've been fighting hard for a long time. And again, like the 10 of Wands, they're pretty exhausted, but they have demonstrated time and time again their resilience and their strength of character. They've demonstrated that they are fierce. They're a fierce warrior. And, they've won so many times to get to the 9 of Wands. But there is this idea that there is this final push that is required with the 9 of Wands. And so there may be this final push for you to just finish that last little leg up that sandy sand dune with that last wand. So, but it does say that the end is near. So keep that perseverance going, and you will get to the end. You'll be able to put down that bundle, that burden, and you'll then be able to open up into those new beginnings. And as I said, there's every indication that your fortunes are changing. So whether that is next week, next month, or next year, fortunes are changing for you. Fortunes change all the time. We have ups and downs. Even within a day, we can have ups and downs. But certainly weeks, months, we might have ups and downs. So it is a natural thing. We go through cycles, but the Wheel of Fortune says that the cycle, the wheel is turning in your favor shortly. All right, my beautiful Aquarius, I do hope this reading has resonated. If it has, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, my friends, bye-bye.